So in terms of sort of the medium and long term, we think that child labor laws are really critical, and keeping kids in school is really important. And especially there's very little argument for sending kids to work when there are such high levels of unemployment among the grown-ups. Give those kids older brothers and sisters and their parents the jobs, pay them a wage, and let the kids stay in school and let them develop physically and mentally and emotionally, because that's what they need to do during that time. That said, child labor laws imposed suddenly on a society where families really are dependent on the kids working and don't have other options, of course can bring a backlash. And it's happened in Bangladesh. I'm sure it's happened in other places that, you know, all of a sudden there was to be a law and kids get thrown out of work and families are, you know, are frantic, and there's a backlash against these kinds of laws imposed from the outside.
Do you think it's realistic to have the law for workers under 14 of the government, or is it more through pressure from external governments and people that Bangladesh has these laws?
Bangladesh have this law, but from my own conception, I think this law should relax. You see, there are a lot of children who do not have their parents, who do not have their father. So, in one hand, state do not taking any responsibility. Our society also not taking any responsibility. So, what will be the fate for this type of children? At least if they allow to do some work, maybe with some condition, at least through this work, these children have the right to survive.
US people, when they hear about an unjust situation, immediately want to do something, and their most immediate reaction is, okay, I won't buy the product, you know, give me the good list and give me the bad list, and I'll boycott the bad list and I'll only buy from the good list. And so it's an immediate gut reaction that comes out of a real sense of decency. It's not very realistic because the entire garment industry is globalized now. In the global economy, where 97% of the apparel industry, 99% of shoes, you know, in the high 90th percentile of toys and sporting goods are all made no longer in the United States but offshore, and mostly in poor developing countries, multinational corporations search the world for the lowest wages, the least benefits, and essentially for the worst working and living conditions, really pushing conditions downward by pushing factories to give them more amounts of production every year for less and less money. That's how sweatshops happen. That's how worker abuses happen.
What they have discovered at the FLA, because what the FLA focuses on is monitoring.
Yes.
And, well, did you have playground monitors when you were growing up?
Oh, just people, you mean?
Yeah, like teachers who would monitor the playgrounds during recess. Okay, so you had playground monitors, right? Mm-hmm. And they were there all the time, right?
Constantly.
Did the bullies still get their licks in?
They always did.
Exactly. Okay, so imagine you got a monitor that's coming to that playground every couple of years, or might come to that playground every 2 years. Who'd run the playground? The bullies.
Corporations, you know, set up their own monitoring programs initially, you know, to respond to the growing strength of the anti-sweatshop movement and the consumer sentiment and the outrage over the publicity that was generated about conditions under which goods were being produced. And I don't take corporate monitoring all that seriously. I mean, in my view, it's mostly a PR operation. That is, it's to try and convince the public that they're really doing something when in fact they're not.
There is a gap. There is a gap between people from buying house and workers. They do not ask the workers about the situation. This is on. And most of the time, the management kept the buying people in their room, in the management room.
Like the office.
Yes, office. And when the buying people, they see the floor, go to the floor, somebody from the management, they always with the buying people.
অবশ্যই করতে পারে
হ্যাঁ অবশ্যই সেটা কি বলবো
সেটা করতে পারে সেটা যদি আমরা যদি সেটা সরাসরি তার বাইরের সাথে আমরা কথা বলতে পারি না সেটা হলো মালিকে গোপন করে রাখে মালিকে যদি এটা তাদের কাছ থেকে জানা যেতে চায় হয়তো বাইরে যদি আমাদের কাছে জিজ্ঞেস করে সরাসরি তাহলে আমরা কিছু বুঝতে পারি কিন্তু আমাদের কাছে তো তারা জিজ্ঞেস করে না সরাসরি
মাঝে মধ্যে বাইরে আসে আমরা যদি লাইনে চুইঙে যায় কিছু জিজ্ঞেস করতে চায় তবে আমাদের সুপারভাইজার লাইন ছিপে মালিকে ফ্লোরে আইসা বলেছে কয় বেতন দিবে যদি বলে না বেতন কয় তারিখে দেয় আমাদের শিখে দে তুমি করে 6 থেকে 7 তারিখে বেতন দিয়ে দে আর ওভার টাইম বললে দে ঠিক আছে তোমাদের ওভার টাইম 15 থেকে 20 তারিখে দিয়ে দে আমাদের শিখে দে ছুটির কথা জিজ্ঞেস করলে সকাল 8টা থেকে বিকাল 5টা ছুটি দিয়ে
5টা কি 7টা
ওভার টাইম করে
এমনকি বেতনের মানে স্যালারি যে কম ওটা বাড়ায় বলতে পারে
ওরা নৌকর বলবা না সত্যি কথা মিথ্যা কথা বলবার জন্য আমাদের শিখিয়ে দেয়
It's probably best that we don't go in a big group of people. Yeah, because then maybe the worker will be intimidated. Because it's better for the film for it to be just like maybe me and. Okay.
Please
Yeah.
stay here.
Okay.
No problem. Stay here. How much time she work here?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
তুমি এখানে কতক্ষণ কাজ করো কয় ঘন্টা কাজ করো বলো তোমাকে যা জিজ্ঞেস
সকাল 8টা থেকে দিন 4টা আর ওভারটাইম আছে 7টা
morning 8 to evening 4 afternoon 4
Okay.
and she also takes over but she get the overtime
Overtime.
Yeah.
How much overtime?
it depends on the production manager
Oh, I see. Okay.
if production manager order him to do overtime she does
And
otherwise not otherwise morning 8 to afternoon 4
8 to 4.
8 to 4
Okay.
আচ্ছা
Okay. Talk to her soon.